Hello, my friends. So, what are we supposed to do now? I've been talking a lot about the core wound recently, how to bring it back, those fragmented, disowned parts of ourselves. Eventually, we make space for that too in our expression and experience so that they can start relaxing, they can start letting go of the hold. And it's really just the holding, the resistance that is making us feel separate. And as soon as we stop doing it, as soon as we stop resisting to feel some energetic discomfort in the body, which is what it is, probably with some memories and some feelings, some expressions, but basically it's us who are holding these prisoners, and that's what makes us feel separate from the divine. That's what makes us keep moving away from the divine expression that we already are. And what happens next? Once we have incorporated a good amount of that fragmentation and we start feeling more whole, this is what I call the old paradigm, where we were living in duality, in resistance, in battle, and that made us engage in the matrix for survival, to be successful, to be loved, all the things that were kind of clamped away inside of us. That to me is the whole matrix that we have been programmed to believe is true and to believe that that is us. I am the one who has all these emotional issues, and I am the one who needs to go out there and work hard and make sure I get enough money so I can pay my bills. We all have been part of that, and most of us still are to a certain extent. Once all that starts softening, that means once all our energy is not totally focused on resisting the discomfort, on being pulled into the matrix with panic and stress and anger and whatnot, trying it all, getting lost in the matrix. Again, once we pull back and come home, we leave the matrix behind, like we don't touch it anymore with our emotions. We will still be touching it with our physical senses because we still live in this dimension where that's how we experience it, if I can say it that way. But then as we pull back from these emotional attachments to this dimension, to this matrix, this is when I say, now what? What do we do now? We're aware that this is a matrix, that it's not reality. We are aware that we have been identified with it. We are aware that we now can pull back from it. And here we are. What do we do now? Just take a breath and maybe ask yourself that question. Who and what am I now without this? Without this. So take a moment and feel yourself. Who or what am I now? And do a little inner scan on yourself to see if you can just get a sense of what is here, which was always here. What is always here? What was always here, even when I was lost out there grasping or in here or whatever in and out is, resisting. When my energy is not there, you will become aware that there is something here. It's always been here. And in the beginning, it depends on what level of connection and realization is within each of us. In the beginning, it may seem a little, I don't know, boring, bland, because there is not that excitement that we were addicted to. Let's call it addiction, and definitely attached to. So that's why there's still sometimes a pull to go out and do something. So by all means, go and watch a movie or just, look at the world. There's your movie. And get your feet while you're going through these shifts. But then start getting really curious. Who am I? What is here? What can I now put my attention on or rest back into when all this energy has been liberated from the matrix and is now available for me to choose to put it somewhere else? So there is definitely a choice point in there, and that will keep deepening. Now, my suggestion is, if you have listened to a lot of the YouTubes that talk about longing in the heart. So here we are. You are aware that there is something here. It's not the identity called your name, Pernilla, in my case, but there is something here, and there is a flavor of Pernilla. I mean, she's still doing the same thing. She's still running in the morning. She's still gardening. She's making all these fun foods, a lot of fun food with persimmons this time of the year. Um, that is happening, and I love it. So that's why I do it. I really, really enjoy it. It gives me a sense of joy, a sense of energy. And is it Pernilla? I really don't know. But I know that there's still a movement that does that because it's enjoyable. So now part of what do we do now? There is a part of me that just does what I really enjoy. Where before there was this, and I didn't enjoy that. So I don't want to go back to that. That feels to me like the old paradigm. And we want to kind of bridge it to the new. Now, my bridge is by leaving the old and bridging it into my heart, the place where I feel a longing for something different than that. That is a really nice stepping stone to just let, okay, I'm done with that, but there's longing here. I want something much better, much more peaceful, much more harmonious. That is the stepping stone to just step onto when you leave the old paradigm. Maybe it's the stepping stone right before you get on the bridge, the crossing. So just hang out there. And so what now, right? Okay, there's something here. It's not the one doing all that stuff, but there is something here. And this something here feels really, really delicious and yummy and sweet when you spend your time here now, more and more. That's my invitation, that we spend a lot more time here in that chest area where there is a longing for something, we can call it for something better. And what does that feel like to you? What is that longing? Is it like a longing for peace, a longing for connection, a longing for more intimacy with yourself, with your divine self? This is what we start paying attention to now, and we have not done a lot of that. So it might feel foreign. It might even feel like a foreign language, like, well, there's something here, but I don't know what it is. So that's when the invitation is to stay there and find out, what is this? What is this language that I don't really know yet, but I can kind of, something feels familiar about it. I can recognize these sensations, but I've always just ignored them. So the stepping stone is to just to open up to this language that's new to us. It's familiar but new. And then we start getting familiar with these feelings of longing. And this time we're not going to dismiss them. This time we're going to say, okay, I want to learn this language. And it's not spoken with words or with accents or whatever. It's spoken with an energy, a feeling, a sensation, an expansion. So that's the new language. We call it the language of the heart. That's what we need to start listening to and really getting familiar with. That's when we create a more intimate relationship with our divine expression, which is without words. Might be words, but it's not spoken words through the mouth. It might be words that are heard. The still small voice might be something you've heard of before. And then we start letting ourselves be guided, be pulled by this longing. And that's kind of when we enter that bridge. So we leave the matrix, the old paradigm. We just hang out on these little stepping stones, like, now what? And it's like, oh, there is something here. And it's kind of pulling in that direction. And that direction is the new paradigm. Of course, it's in here, but just to show it with my hands. So now we start listening and feel the pull. Feel the pull. And let yourself be pulled by that. And you do not know what it means, what it's going to look like. Your mind is going to try and interpret it. It might say, no, that's dangerous. You don't know what it means. And people are going to think you're crazy. All the old paradigm trying to pull you back. But you're on your stepping stone. You have left it. You're here and you're waiting for something new. If it's the old, fear, threat, negativity, limitation, then you go, oh, that's the old. No, we're done. I'm here on my stepping stone. I'm going to feel this new language guiding me. And that's when it just started. And it might start there might not be anything for a long time. That's how it was for me. It was kind of crazy making. I felt like, okay, I've let go. Now what? And then nothing happened for so long. And then suddenly one day or over a time there, I just started feeling this. There was something that wanted to come out. So then I knew, okay, so now there's something here and it's coming much more alive. And I would say that period before that where nothing happened, there was probably more happening than I could imagine, in the sense that I was being purified. I was being purified, all these layers, and it was not fun. I'm not saying this is a fun journey all the way, but it becomes fun. It becomes easier. And then we might hit another layer and we just need to hang out with that. And now you know how to, if you've listened to the last videos about the core wound and how to allow the process, just letting it unfold, letting it melt. So then this started moving, and I thought, there's something that wants to be spoken, it's like, whoa. And that's when I started my YouTube channel. I just needed an outlet. I had no idea what it would look like, what would come out of me. But this thing was here, and I just followed it because it felt like, okay, there's a longing, there's an energy that wants to express. So I went with that. I still have no idea. I know there are some of you who really, really resonate with what I share, and that fills my heart. That makes me so happy. But I don't know if it's making any difference in the world, if people are really taking it on. And thank you for those of you who are reaching out and want to take it to a deeper level. So I'm assuming that some people are really touched and they resonate with it. And maybe you too want to start finding out, what is it for me now? What do I do? I'm out of the matrix, more or less. We're still in it, but we're out of it enough that we can now pay attention to the new paradigm. And then little by little, let it move you. Let it move you. And I don't know, there's certain videos that get a lot of views. For little Pernilla, I'm not a big YouTuber, but some only get a few views, a few likes. Some have been getting a lot, and I have no idea why. Could be the algorithms. I really don't know, honestly. But I'm not worried about it. That old part from the matrix, that's from the old paradigm that's worrying and it wants to, make sure you have to do this and have to do that. If it does not resonate with me, I cannot do it anymore. It's almost like I have moved too far away from that thing that was attached to the old paradigm. And so that back, I just can't do it anymore. And that's probably why all these years that I was just sitting, purifying and purifying, that hook was just being purified, basically, let go of. So now the movement is to just follow this and just follow. If I see my persimmon tree is full of beautiful orange fruit, I pick them and I make hoshigaki, if you know what that is. That's those Japanese dried persimmons. So I make a lot of those. I make fruit leather from persimmons with ginger in it. So delicious. So that's kind of part of where I just go with it. And I do things I enjoy. I do aerial dancing, if you're familiar with that. That's the fabric high up from the ceiling that I do acrobatics on. I do that several times a week. So I let I let the things that give me joy inform me what is next. Going for beautiful hikes out in the woods, working with clients, which I love to do, doing my YouTube channel, which I love to do. There's a lot of things that come from a place of joy, and that's what I connect with, because that is, to me, it feels like that is the new paradigm living me. It's guiding me, it's pulling me, it's inspiring me. So it's not like, oh, I'll tell you what happens when you leave the old paradigm, then you're going to do this. No, then you're going to find out what it looks like for you. Maybe you want to start a YouTube channel sharing about your journey that might be helpful for others. Who knows? Maybe you want to start teaching classes. Maybe you don't want to do anything and just hang out in nature and connect with nature. I don't know what it is for you. That is something that you will find out when you take the time to be quiet and connect and listen. And then suddenly there will be a movement that is not connected to the old paradigm the way it used to be. It's coming from a new inspiration. To me, that is when we bridge the old to the new, we start moving with this inspired energy. And that's kind of what I can share about it. Maybe you have a very different story in your own experience, and I totally welcome that, because they're all very unique. There's none of us who need to be like anybody else anymore. That's the old paradigm. So let me know how that all lands for you. And always, of course, if you feel you need support on this journey, to connect with that, to hang out on your stepping stone, find out what is really true for you, please reach out to me and let's see if I might be a good support for you. And then we can do some deeper work together. All right, my friends, until we meet again.